time and heard today from many voices, many ideas and possibilities, and somehow the bits of hope and energy come through, I think, the exhaustion and the disappointment that some of us have also felt. So in this very short little closing worship, we're going to spend a little time there in that inspiration place and thoughtful place. I have a short reading to begin, and then Jan will chime in, and then Imam Islam is going to pray, and then I have a little bit of music. So just settle in. Thank you for being here. This opening reading is from a collection of meditations called Breaking and Blessing by a colleague, the Reverend Sean Parker Dennison. And the reason I wanted to share it is because it's his reflection on a clergy meeting, a gathering of clergy that Sean attended somewhat recently. At the beginning of the year, I went to my local interfaith clergy meeting. The person in charge of hosting had asked us to come prepared to discuss a simple practice. What word would we claim for the new year? The person to my left volunteered to go first. That meant I would be last. It didn't matter to me because the practice was familiar and I'd chosen a word a few days earlier and made a vision for the year. But as we went around the circle, I began to get nervous. The first colleague chose hope. The next colleague chose compassion. The third chose self-care. The fourth told a long story that ended with her selecting the word angel, peace, devotion, honor. By the time we got to me, I was squirming and considering quickly choosing a different word. But even though that felt less risky, it felt dishonest too. So when it was my turn, I blurted, my word for the year is relentless. The room went silent and then filled with nervous laughter. I mean, the world seems to be getting meaner. Ministry is asking more of me and of my family. I guess I chose relentless because I need it. I don't want to give up on the world, on our community, on myself, on us. The silence continued, and then one of my retired colleagues smiled and asked loudly, "Can I borrow that? I want to change my answer from kind to relentlessly kind." One by one, my colleagues agreed, and suddenly the interfaith clergy serving one small town had agreed. For the year, we would commit ourselves to relentless hope, relentless compassion, relentless self-care, relentless peace, relentless devotion, and relentless honor. It seems like it will be a good year, and somewhere, if we are lucky, a relentless angel is watching over us all.
Nice.
Jan?
Beautiful. Well, ties beautifully in to what I'm about to say. So this week in the Jewish readings of Torah, we arrive at Genesis 25, and it's known by its name Toldot, which comes from the Ve'ela Toldot Yitzchak. These are the generations of Isaac. And we find that Isaac's wife, Rebecca, is pregnant, and she is struggling with a huge pregnancy, and she cries out as the children are struggling in her womb. She says, "Why do I exist? What am I doing here? Why is this so hard?" And of course, you all know the story. She gives birth to two children who are destined to be at odds with each other. Rebecca really likes Jacob, and Isaac really likes Esau, and it just falls apart with so much intrigue and people like just screwing each other in just the worst possible ways of deceit. However, at the end of Isaac's life, Esau and Jacob, come together to bury their father, in the same way that Ishmael and Isaac came to bury their father, even despite their grievances. And from this, the rabbis teach that no matter what is the discord that separates people, There are moments that bring us together, that require us to come together in order to honor the sanctity and the sacredness, first of all, of someone else's life, but writ large, even the people with whom we have such distance. We have the obligation to come together and find those places where we can connect so that we can do the work. So the blessing that comes out of this week's Torah portion, for me at least, and hopefully for you that I share with this story with you, is that may we find those points of connection between people, even if they don't agree with each other, because in fact that answers Rebecca's question, why do we live? We live in order to make those holy connections exactly with the people with whom we do not necessarily agree.
So may it be.
May it be.
Imam, you're muted.
Unmute. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so join me for the short prayer. Thank you very much for having me. And I'll start by calling upon our Lord, the Lord of the world. Oh God, help us to help others achieve the peace and the prosperity we enjoy. Help us to be moral leaders and guides for the betterment of all people. Help us to truly live the golden rule in our lives by wanting for others what we want for ourselves, and by even preferring others over ourselves. Oh God, during these days in multiple faiths, we ask you to help us in healing and bringing peace to our planet and to our world. Oh God, help us to believe, to strongly believe that whatever you have written upon us is actually good for us. And help us all to go through this together, knowing that this is good for us and we come up with something good at the end of it. And we ask you, oh God, to bring down the peace and tranquility into our hearts and to make us stronger than we ever before. I want to share, 4 years ago, we had a VIA meeting, and this VIA meeting this year, I'm actually more optimistic than we were 4 years ago. So I have a lot high hopes in our faith, in our cooperation, in our bond together, that we will be better, in a better shape in the next few years. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Imam.
Thank you.
So just a little music. Music is important to me. I am so blessed to be working with an extraordinary music director, James Stewart. And this is a piece that he sang as part of our worship a couple of weeks ago. I'll just share it with you. Wait a minute. Sorry.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more peace somewhere, somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. somewhere there is more joy. Somewhere there is more joy. Somewhere I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.